Or at least we can talk about them.
If you can describe a scene, I can usually remember
Well,
what
we're
I'm
about
doing.
to do that.
Okay.
Because I have a lightning round for you.
Okay. I can get help from could I call a friend?
But the first thing I wanted to, that I discovered during my reporting that was the most amazing thing is that you have most of those clothes. It was in your contract.
Yes.
Amazing line.
Really nice time for Michael and I to talk about the show. We're far away from one another, and we could do this. And I rang him up and I just said, would you be curious about this idea? I ran it by a few friends who are far more, they have their finger on the pulse of pop culture, and so I ran it by them, and they were like, yes, you for sure. So I asked Michael Patrick, and he said, absolutely. And I called my agent, and then the next time Michael Patrick and I talked, he said, I'm thinking maybe it should be the show. And I was standing outside, I know exactly where I was standing, and I thought, God, I'm so glad he said it, because I didn't have the courage. Because I was thinking, I think we should now have the conversation that we've decided not to have for all these years. Like every time it's come up, we've thought, no, it's not right. It just doesn't feel right. I mean, that simply. And so we called HBO, and they were very hospitable.
And then having the other hard conversation about your decision last year to end the show, how did you know it was the right time?
Michael and I always seem to reach that at the same moment. We did it the first time round, and it was really, it confounded people because things were good. Like, why walk away from something that is doing really well and that we're happy doing, and we get to work with all these people that we love, and we get to be in a city that we feel such affection for. But Michael has an instinct about story, and I had been wondering about the story. The second year we knew when she was going to move into Gramercy that there was no way to not live there and see it and feel it. But we had a conversation, and we both agreed that that was it. That's where we were right now, and I just have always trusted Michael because he's so filled with ideas and energy and inspiration, and he's so gung-ho about working, and he's happy thinking about these people. And if he felt that that's where the map ended, his creative map, then I felt very confident in trusting that as our decision.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what it's like to say goodbye to a character you've been playing for, over 2 decades.
Yeah.
Like, does it feel wistful?
I think because I've been on hiatuses before, I've been so busy since we stopped shooting that I just haven't really thought about what it means to not ever play her again, because I could just as well with this period be on a hiatus from the show. So I think it's been very convenient for me to just think of the absence of that exercise that way, because maybe it's too complicated to reckon with it really being done, because it's so consequential to me.
I want to talk about some of the things that have been keeping you busy since and during the whole time that you're making the show.
Putin. Sorry.
I mean, I want to talk about your love of reading and your experience as a literary citizen. I know this year you were a judge for the Booker Prize.
Still am.
Still am.
We're almost there. Yeah.
What was that like? You had to read so many books.
Still am. It's been extraordinary. I mean, for anybody who is, I always say, anybody who's like a greedy reader like me, it's a dream come true. I mean, it's really overwhelming, and it feels sometimes like you're being swallowed by a book. And the volume and the speed at which we're reading, we'll have read 166 books since December 23rd. But to be inside books in that way, to have made a commitment and have that kind of obligation to consider all these writers and their work, to celebrate new writers, to celebrate books from all over, telling stories from all over the globe, to meet these judges who I loved the judges so much. There's 5 of us total. I can't begin to understand how I was given this gift. Like, it's as hard as it's been, just in terms of the weight and the responsibility. I can't believe it. I cannot believe I'm judging the Booker. Like, I mean to do right by it every single day.
And your own imprint. SJP Lit. I mean, sometimes, people that can lend their name to an imprint do it as kind of a vanity project, but you are so involved. You read all the manuscripts, you're the one who's saying, what the imprint should put out, you support the authors, you're at their book launches, you're supporting.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how did it come to be that you have your own imprint, and what kind of books are you looking to publish? Are you proud to publish? Like, what are you hoping to accomplish with it?
Well, I started publishing, I guess about 10 years ago, when Molly Stern was at Crown, and she and I met, and it's a very long story, so I won't do this. Trying to do long story short instead of short story long. We met, we eventually started a book club. The book club's purpose was to read as yet published books. To all of us, try to find ways of supporting debut authors, especially in literary fiction. And we were very, super committed to this book club. And over the course of the 2 years spent at the book club, Molly said to me, I think you should be publishing books. And I said, I don't know I didn't go to college. I barely graduated from high school. And I don't know how to write a paper. Like, I don't know what business I have. And so she said, no, this is the way you can do it, you can learn. And so I started in print at Crown. It was SJP for Hogarth. And then Molly left, and I came with her to Zanda, which is an independent publishing house, and we started the same way. New voices, stories about the world in the literary fiction space. And they don't have to be debut authors, but I'm certainly looking for stories that have yet been told elsewhere. And there are plenty out there that are really exciting and really wonderful, and it's been such a great success. And our most recent book, I Am You, by Victoria Riddell, has been so beautifully received. It's an extraordinary tale based on a true story, actually, which is a little unusual for us, but it's a thrill. We have, 3 more books coming out, and just reading manuscripts, and it's such a privilege to offer up what I think is a really special book to readers,
Yeah, you're like the busiest person in the world.
No.
You have the book imprint, you have Pretty Matches, you're saying you're producing some upcoming films, you're trying to get some new projects off the ground. You have your own shoe line, you have a line of wine. Do you have a sense of how to prioritize every day? Do you wake up and you go, this is what I'm going to focus on? Or how do you sort of manage your own time?
It kind of tells you what needs to be done, and I always think about, people ask me this question, and I'm always wanting to say, I know how I get to do it because I have the kind of support I need. When my children were younger, I could afford childcare, and I could make these choices, and they were really exciting and fun and challenging, and I was learning new businesses. And the thing that surprises me most is all the women and men and parents who are holding down 2 and 3 jobs in our city, across our country, who don't have the kind of support I have, who are really just managing every single day. So I don't think it's extraordinary that I get to do the kinds of things I like and have choices that I can find a way to sort my day. I just have to say, more so is, how are they doing it? how are these parents doing it who don't have what I
I want to get to audience questions in 2 minutes, but
Okay.
the last thing I wanted to ask you was just a brief question about working with Diane Keaton, who I know you worked with twice on
Yeah.
First Wives Club and Family Stone.
So,
And I just wanted to know, in light of her passing, if there is anything that you sort of learned from her, gleaned from her about your craft.
oh my gosh, I didn't get to work with her as much on the First Wives Club, but obviously Family Stone, you know, we spent the entire shoot together, and you know, she is everything you wanted her to be. It's all true. And her nature was as delightful as a persona that we all kind of wrapped ourselves around, you know. She was a person, she was whimsical and super smart and curious and cared so much about the work. She wore headphones while they were setting up the camera. She wore headphones every single day, and she had a Discman, and she put the headphones on. They called action, and someone, so that she was always thinking, not getting distracted by a chaotic set. She cared so much to be good, and when the cameras rolled, one might confuse that it was easy. You know, she had a way of being on screen that wasn't showing off any of her technique or any of the ways in which she put serious consideration. And I think that's a very hard thing to do, because there are actors who are letting you know that they are working hard, you know? And she just wasn't. She was extraordinary.
Well, I'll say it, I feel the same about your work. It feels
Thank
so
you.
light and effortless.
Thank you.
So I want to get to some audience questions. So